With decades of experience representing airports, your Airport Legislative Alliance brings you Washington Insider Update.
Welcome to another Washington Insider Update. I'm Todd Hopley. I'm joined in the studio today by AAAE Chair Bruce Carter. Bruce, thanks for being here.
Well, thank you, Todd. It's always fun to come to Washington, D.C., especially to get with the team and talk with them.
Big day for you in Washington, D.C., big day for us, AAAE. You representing us in a series of important meetings around town. First one this morning with the Senate Democratic leadership. 17 United States senators, Democrats, all meeting, talking about the importance of infrastructure investment in the economy, job creation. A lot of frustration about where things stand today with the highway bill. But let's talk for a minute first about your message to these senators.
Well, number one, it was very educational to have 17 senators talk about the passion that they have about the infrastructure for highways and the highway bill that's going to be expiring very soon. About 40 minutes into the conference meeting, I was starting to wonder if I was going to be able to get on and talk a little bit about something positive and get on the bright side about airports. But I got the opportunity to thank the senator group for at least getting the 4-year AAAE bill passed, which was over $3 billion a year. Talked a little bit about the creation of jobs from 27 to 35,000 jobs per $1 billion, and that creates up to 100,000 jobs, which is fantastic, especially for the state of Illinois, like with our primary airports we have. So got the point across, got a little laughter into it. We got a kick out of the senator from Minnesota talking a little bit about Caterpillar, but then I had to go right back and tell her about John Deere. So that broke the ice, and everybody was laughing, and we're a little bit entertained about that. So it was fun.
Yeah, that was it was actually good. You had a chance to introduce a little levity in it. I've been in a number of these meetings, and this one was pretty pointed right from the beginning. You could tell that there's a rising sense of frustration within the Democratic Caucus in the Senate over the recalcitrance of the House Republicans to move on a highway bill. They're very frustrated.
Well, very frustrated, and there was 15 individuals representing different trade organizations that were there, and that was surprising too that there were that many. But you start looking about highways, bridges, railroads, things like that, you do get a lot of different people that have interest within that topic area of infrastructure improvements with highways.
Yeah. Senator Reid, I predict we'll probably read about some of his comments over the next couple of days. Very pointed, taking on the House Republicans directly, his frustration with the Tea Party and those in the House of Representatives who he says just are not interested in spending any money on anything. And that's an interesting dynamic that's going on with the highway bill, which expires, current authority expires at the end of this month.
17 days, and you could tell Senator Kerry and Senator Boxer are very passionate about not being able to get anything accomplished, really on the case of the Republicans and the House leadership of not getting that bill in there, because we all drive on highways. They're not too good. We worry about bridges, but the bright side of it is we at least have a 4-year bill for airports. Wasn't everything we wanted, but at least we have something that stabilizes the infrastructure improvements that we need for airports in this country.
And you did a nice job talking about PFCs in that meeting as well.
Exactly, in the PFC situation, you know, let's lift the cap was number one, but if you can't get the cap lifted, let's look at Obama's plan of raising the PFC from $4.50 to $7 per passenger. That would create another $50 million in infrastructure improvements for the state of Nevada, but better yet, about $90 million for the state of Illinois. So we got that little 2 cents worth in. So I think our mission as it related to airports got accomplished.
Well, I saw one United States senator come in and greet you personally on a first-name basis, Senator Dick Durbin, the Assistant Majority Leader of the Senate. After we met with the gang of 17, if you will, Senator Durbin escorted you up and escorted us up to his office for a private meeting.
Well, it's always an honor to get into the senator's office as the Senate Majority Whip. You know, a lot of history gives you goosebumps when you walk in there and know that LBJ had his office there, and seeing the Abraham Lincoln portraits up on the wall. But you know, the senator and I go back, you know, 20-some years, and you could tell that he had time for us to sit down and have a little one-on-one based talk. And I talked a little bit about the concern with air service, especially what might happen with American Eagle and the bankruptcy of American. Talked a little bit about air service within the state of Illinois, and then I handed the baton over to you, and I really appreciate you and Brad Van Dam going with me today. I mean, it's not every time that you get a couple people from AAAE and the chair of AAAE and the senator all in one room, but you were able to at least get the point across about AMT.
Yeah, we talked about AMT, the AIP program, PFCs, the sort of ran the list, if you will, of issues. And Senator Durbin has been, even from when he was on the House side, a member of the Transportation Appropriations Subcommittee in the House. He's always been a real champion of infrastructure investment. He's been great, and it was very obvious from the first moment he walked in the room this morning that the two of you have a great relationship going back over a lot of years.
Yeah, the senator and his staff, we go back a long ways. If there's concerns on their behalf, they're not afraid to call me. If I have concerns or needs, I can call them on a first-name basis. So that's the relationships that we've developed, at least in the 21 years that I've been in that great state of Illinois.
One more relationship that goes back a long ways and first-name basis is you and the Secretary of Transportation. We also met with him today, Secretary LaHood. Talk a little bit about how you and Ray got to know each other.
Well, it was like Old Home Week today with Mr. LaHood. He goes back to his roots in the Quad Cities. He actually had a job at Bi-State Planning Commission. He lived there for 4 or 5 years before he moved down to Peoria to work with one of the congressmen there, and then he was the chief of staff with Bob Michael, who was, by the way, was a House Minority Leader for many, many years, and then Ray becoming a congressman. Had a great relationship with Ray when I was the airport director in Peoria. That carried on into my days here in the Quad Cities, which, by the way, has been 13 years now. So that 20-year relationship with Ray goes a long way. I had the privilege last year to introduce him at the legislative conference, first name basis. I always ask about him, he always asks about me, so you know you have a close relationship, and it's not every day you can have a relationship like that with the Secretary of Transportation, who's done a fabulous job, I think, with all the concerns and situations that are amongst us with transportation issues.
Mm-hmm. And once again gave us an opportunity to talk about AIP, PFCs, AMT, the list of issues important to airport.
Yeah, and we talked a little bit about what was going on in the Quad Cities with our $34 million project that's getting pretty well completed. The $60 million project that got completed at Peoria with their new terminal building and what they're going to do with the control tower and what's going on in Bloomington and Springfield and Champaign. So we had that opportunity to talk about some of our downstate primary airports. So it's always get together with him, and he's a busy man. There's a lot of issues amongst him, but we got to see him, we got to talk to him. That was fun. So.
And we should also mention, you know, the FAA Associate Administrator for Airports, Krista Fornerato. Nice to have her in the meeting as well. The woman who hands out the money.
That's right. It's always because I always like to go after the money, as you know. And we do a very good job with the assistance of others to do that. But it's great to have you and Brad and the team to come with me and show that AAA is there representing airports nationwide, and that's what's good about our organization.
Well, Mr. Chairman, thank you for spending time with us, for coming to Washington today to do this, for taking time to come down to the studio. We really appreciate it.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it very much.
Experienced, effective, respected. AAAE ALA Federal Affairs membership delivers for you. Join today and get connected.